Hi guys, welcome back to our channel, the number one place for people who love design, art and all things creative. I'm Jacqueline and I'm an interior architect and designer here at D&B, and today's video is all about welcoming spring into your home and how to give your home those fresh spring vibes. It's officially spring tomorrow on the 20th of March, so I thought I'd continue the series on the channel where I give advice on how to make sure your home transitions through the different seasons. It was actually a suggestion by one of our subscribers, so I just want to say thank you, and also thank you so much for all of your really sweet comments too. I can't tell you how jealous I am of you guys who live in hotter climates, because here in the UK it only just begins to get sunnier and warmer in the spring, although right now it's like 9 degrees outside, so yeah. And I have to admit that I do tend to become a recluse in the winter and hibernate indoors just like a bear does, and because of that I think that's why I'm starting to love spring more and more as the years go on, because I'm more appreciative of the days getting longer and being able to spend time outside without the possibility of freezing to death. It may just be overtaking autumn as my favourite season. And because I'm getting excited for spring, I thought I'd create a video explaining how to achieve a spring refresh with home decor and interior design tips. So if you're interested, let's jump in. I think a good place to start is by unpicking what elements make up spring. Once we do that, we can start to see what to bring into the home. Spring represents rebirth for me, and maybe you've fallen off the wagon with your New Year's resolutions, at least I kind of hope I'm not the only one. And I just feel with the change in season, it really creates the feeling of a fresh start for all of us. I think we would all agree that those classic spring vibes are all about having more light and longer, sunnier days, seeing the cherry blossoms blooming and all the beautiful flowers, celebrating spring festivities, finally spending more time outside and listening to the sound of wildlife coming alive. Words that I think about when describing spring are fresh, green, sweet, airy, floral, colourful, cheerful, bright and playful. So therefore those words will influence my design decisions for my interior. And obviously I know that spring is different for everyone, so take some time to define what things you particularly love about spring. Starting with that bright and airy aspect, the first thing you can do to refresh your home for spring is start by swapping out the materials you currently have. For example, swap out chunky woolen blankets with thinner cotton ones. Also think about your curtains. If they're dark toned or just thick, change them to linen curtains or sheer voile drapes to create an airy atmosphere. By doing that, you're able to let in much more sunlight so that the space can instantly become brighter. A simple way to transform your bedroom into the perfect springtime sanctuary is to change your bedding. Such a simple way to instantly give your home a spring makeover, and there are lots of fantastic bed linen sets to choose from. To give you guys some ideas, you could go for a very subtle spring look if you're not into over-the-top designs, or maybe a classic floral set. And if you really want that wow factor, why not go for lots of buzzing spring patterns? And speaking of patterns, one that's really popular right now in terms of fashion trends is gingham. Gingham has such an uncomplicated, effortless design, but the bold colours instantly add some flavour to an outfit or interior for that matter. So think about adding it to your spring home decor through cushion covers, bedding, curtains, tablecloths and tea towels. And some other easy textiles to switch up are throw pillows. You could either change the dark toned or fluffy ones you had in the autumn winter time to lighter fabrics, just like the other textiles I mentioned. But you could also take this as a chance to inject colour into the home. Flowers starting to bloom, punchy Easter eggs and plants growing are a few reasons why spring has become synonymous with vibrant colours. Finally, the dull grey shades of winter are no more, and the fresh vibrant palette of spring swoops in. Think about sprinkling in bold colours throughout your home by using accent pieces and home decor items. That will instantly create a refreshed spring look. If you're not into bold colours, some springtime classic colour combinations are of course pastels, which I like to think draw inspiration from a mixture of different things we see during this season. So pastels could be a good guide for those of you wanting to create a quintessential spring look. However, if you're not into colour at all, which I can completely understand because a lot of us want a sleek contemporary colour scheme, then swap out your gloomy colours for stark white lighter tones. This will make sure you keep the interior style you're wanting whilst keeping it classy at the same time. One thing I actually think would make a big difference is by swapping out the bulbs in your lights. Lots of us want to create a cozy atmosphere in the autumn and winter to create the illusion of a warm space. And contrastingly in the springtime, we are trying to create a brighter and breezier space. So rather than using bulbs with a warm effect, choose LEDs that have a cooler tint. What you're looking for is actually a higher colour temperature, which is measured in degrees of Kelvin, or K for short. The higher the number is, the more of a stark white the tone. Another big part of spring are the flowers. I know, florals for spring, not exactly groundbreaking. But you guys know just as well as me that it wouldn't feel like spring if we didn't have flowers in the home. The same way it would feel strange at Christmas time if there's no Christmas tree in the house. It would just feel like there's something missing. Now, of course, it depends on where you are in the world to judge what's in season, but some of my favourite flowers for spring are hydrangeas, daffodils of course, tulips, cherry blossoms and spring coloured arrangements. Those are some fantastic pretty ones that really capture the essence of spring. And I would always recommend using real plants or flowers because it really does create that fresh feeling we're going for. However, if you have pets, then by all means get the artificial ones instead. If you aren't a big fan of flowers or striking hues, then a plant I would suggest for you is eucalyptus. It has a pretty leaf, and what I've found is that there are excellent imitation versions of it. It really is the perfect plant for those going for an understated, clean aesthetic, while still incorporating some spring greenery. Let's move on to the fun stuff that we all love, the spring home decor products. I think that a lot of you will want to put Easter bunnies up, egg decorations, faux grass, and all things of the sort, and that's absolutely great. Those typical spring decor items would be clear indicators that you're melding the spring season into your interior design scheme. My only tip with that is if you're going for those embellished decor items, use one or two in a space. For example, if you had a garland like this on the mantle, it speaks volumes. You really don't need more than that in the living room, right? We're trying to create a spring vibe throughout the home, not make it look like the Easter Bunny's house. One way I love to incorporate busy spring patterns into the home is by switching up kitchenware. Think plates, serving bowls, mugs, dishes, and ovenware. It's ideal for both people who love patterns and colour in their interior, as well as people who have muted neutral interiors, as the kitchenware is such a small part of an interior. I really love these kitchenware items, they're so much fun, don't you think? And as usual, everything I've mentioned in the video is in the description. If you're thinking of decorative pieces to add to the space, think about using glassware. That could be in the form of vases, lighting, artwork, or just ornamental pieces. Again, because glassware is transparent, it makes sure that as much light as possible is bounced around the room, which in turn will make your space look bigger. Texturally, I love using seagrass to add dimension in the home. Spring is a season that's heavily centered around nature, and natural elements bring the outdoors in to create serene environments. For example, using seagrass for storage is so much more attractive than just a plain plastic box. So have a think about adding seagrass home decor items to your spring refresh. Something else to level up your wintry atmosphere is by mirroring a spring smell into the home. Choose scented candles that awaken your indoor space and lift your mood. Spring scents that have floral notes are always on trend, and because there's so many varieties, you can choose to be in a pungent garden or be surrounded by delicate roses. I also like citrus aromas because I think that they're fresh, and out of all of the candle scents, it's the one that's the most invigorating. There's nothing more refreshing than doing the laundry and then climbing into a bed with fresh bed sheets. So think about buying a candle that has a fresh linen scent for a light, airy and beautifully clean atmosphere. If you're a pet mum or dad, then please think about buying as little candles as possible because I know that they do really irritate our little friends. And if you do get scented candles, make sure that they're non-toxic as well. Probably the most uncomplicated way to decorate for spring is by trading your coffee table books for spring themed ones. Think along the lines of gardening, travel guides, art books, cookbooks, countryside cottagecore, or even fictional novels. Anything that you'll actually enjoy reading and gets you in the mood for spring and that has a spring look to it. Another one of my decorating tips for you, if you can call it that, it's an oldie but a goodie, and it's to carry out a spring clean. Spring cleaning is said to have originated because of the Persian New Year that falls on the first day of spring. The idea of thoroughly cleaning the house is still practiced by Iranians today, and of course throughout the world in many other cultures. It's all about feeling new and ready to go into the next part of the year. Multiple studies have found that relaxing in a clutter-free home has a huge positive effect on your daily mood and ability to focus. And health-wise, it decreases germs and specifically allergies as well. Yeah, allergy season's coming. Fantastic. But set aside a day to blast your favourite tunes, clean the house, complete it, and I can assure you that you will feel ready to welcome in spring afterwards. I actually have a whole playlist with interior design and home decor tips, so I've left it linked in the description for you guys. If any of you are new, then I just want to welcome you to the channel where we talk about interior design, home decor, and all that cool creative stuff in between, and if any of that interests you, feel free to subscribe. Leave me a spring emoji down below to let me know that you enjoyed the video or learnt something new, and if you liked it then please give the video a big thumbs up, because by doing that you actually really help the channel to reach even more people. I hope that you enjoyed my spring decor ideas, and I really appreciate it if you've made it right to the end of this video. I hope that you have a lovely springtime, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!